Trying to manifest without releasing anything that might get in the way is pure foolishness. Y'all, this is not an astrological reading. I am not gifted in that way. I consult Chani and Fifth House Bloom for all things that are happening in the stars and the sky and the planets. I'm just sharing what I'm practicing in this time of growth. We are in a tremendous time of precedented and unprecedented moments. We are witnessing change and transition and progress and growth in so many ways. And what I know to be true is that as we call in a new world, new systems, new things for ourselves and others in our communities that we love, at the same time, we also have to do some releasing. Release what is comfortable, what is familiar, what is known for something new. That newness is scary. It can be uncertain, and it can make us turn around and run back to what we've known this whole time. There are some things we do know, though, right? The uncertainty is very scary, and here are a few things that we know. Many of us don't try because we don't want to fail. If we don't try, we are guaranteed to fail. We gotta try. We also know that in the known, what we know, where we've been, the familiar, the comfortable, there's a groove there. There's familiarity there. There's things that we recognize. And although that unknown is really, 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 really scary, it's uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar, we might not recognize anything. We actually don't know what we'll encounter when we get there. The reality is that if we stay in what we know, there's pain and suffering. We also know there'll be some pain and suffering if we leave. That unknown comes with lots that we don't know will come up. The difference between those pains, Resmaa Menakem calls it clean pain and dirty pain. There are other distinctions that people have made, but the pain of staying is different than the pain of leaving, because the pain of leaving has the possibility of turning into something else, of composting, of alchemizing into something useful, something we can use, something that we can enjoy at some point. The pain of staying, the pain of settling, the pain of doing what we've always done, it's a cycle and it doesn't go away. If we take a chance, maybe, just maybe, things could be different. The last thing we know is, what's the phrase? What they say, closed mouths don't get fed. I like that phrase, and I also want to invoke another one, which is closed fists can't receive. If you're holding so tightly onto something, how can you receive what is yours, what you want to manifest, the newness that awaits you? A lot of y'all know that I used to be a matchmaker. That was one of my previous lives. And I worked with a lot of folks who had a deep desire to be partner. I can remember a client who told me about her deep desire. She had worked on herself. She had looked at all the aspects of her life and wanted to, quote unquote, improve or better herself. And she was at a point where she felt like she had everything in place except the partnership that she wanted. She had the house. She had the cars. She had the job. She had the extracurriculars. She had the community service. She was a leader in every place that she occupied. And she felt like what was missing was a partner. Now, we were on video as we talked, and she was showing me around her house. Beautiful house. 2-car garage with 2 cars in it. Big old closet full of clothes. When we looked at her schedule, it was packed. And I asked her one simple question. I said, I know you want to be partner. What space do you have for someone in your life? If someone came tomorrow, where would they fit? And that question really stumped her. There was no physical room for somebody else in her house. When she looked at her schedule, there was no room to date. When she thought about her emotional and her spiritual and her mental spaces, there was nothing there. And so I ask you, how are you making space for the things that you would like to receive? That question may bring up some feelings, maybe some shame or some guilt or some like, oh, I haven't been doing it in a way that makes sense, right? I want you to give yourself some grace. There's a lot of grief that comes with ushering in the new and letting go of the old. And sometimes in the face of that grief, we cling to what feels familiar, to what feels comfortable, to what is easy or maybe feels easeful to us. I also know that as humans, we have very, very complicated lives with competing intentions. We might deeply believe and desire one thing, and yet unconsciously or unintentionally believe something else that competes with that intention. And so our behavior is a result of those mixed intentions, right? We're messy, complicated human beings. That's just a fact. A lot of us, when we think about releasing the old to make way for the new, we can release a couple things, but then there's some things we're like, but don't touch this, right? Remove all the people out of my way that don't add to my shine, but not my current partner. Or remove the barriers and the limitations, but I want to keep my job, right? So we kind of try to carve out these things that we want to keep or that we want to stay or that we're not willing to give up. Messy human beings. But when we want something new, we have to make room for it. And so in this astrological, this unprecedented astrological season, in this history-making moment, in this time of transition and change and progress and growth and all of things, how are you making space for what you say you want to receive? What are you asking to be cleared? What are you naming that needs to be removed so that you can have the things that you say you want most? I'm just here sharing these questions because I'm trying to practice what I preach. I know that our behavior is a better indicator of what we believe and what we value than anything we can write on paper. So I encourage you to examine what comes up, what is unconscious, what is hidden, what has been stuffed down and pushed to the corner that might be impacting the way that you let go of things or not as you make way for what you want to receive.